So now let's take a look at drawing an arc or using the arc command. So the arc command is right next to the circle command. You can also just type in on the command line down here, you can type in A for arc and it'll start the arc command. So it's going to start by asking you for a start point. So wherever you pick, that is your starting point. It's going to ask you your next point. So this is, what point, basically a through point. So if I click here, the arc is going to be drawn through that point. So depending on if I, which way I go for my endpoint, it's going to draw that arc in. Okay. Now I can repeat the arc command, and instead of the start point, I can do the center point. So if I hit C for center, I can pick the center of that arc, and now it's asking me for my start point. So I'm just going to pick a start point here, and notice that it's actually drawing in the opposite direction. Okay. Now you can also have some other options here where I can go angle, chord, or length. So if I want a an angle of 90 degrees, I could switch to A for angle, and then my total angle is going to be 90, and basically that from there to there, the angle is 90. So it drew in that arc that way. So again, just like the polyline command, there's a lot of different ways that you can draw this. If you use the append as your starting point, I can pick on a line, and because I picked this end of the line, it's drawing that arc off of that line, and it's going to draw it in a tangential direction, or it's going to be tangent to that line. So when I pick the end point, this point right here is tangent to that arc, so that's coming off of that line. So again, if I pick the arc and I do append, I can grab that there, and you can see it's going to be drawn off of that last line that we just drew there. So the arc just gives you different, segments that you're drawing versus the polyline. So I will be honest, I tend to use the polyline more than I use the arc. Um, but it really depends on what you're drawing and what type of shape you're trying to create. There's other options that if I pick on the arc and I pick the center, or just pick a starting point, or if I pick, actually, let's go center. I pick the center, I pick that center point, and again, it's asking me for my starting point. And you'll notice that the arc is, if I go this way, kind of clockwise, it's creating the arc counterclockwise, right? So it's kind of it always creates the arc in a counterclockwise direction when you're doing the from the center start and end. So your start point, if you're thinking you want to start there and go this way, you really got to start down here and go, you know, counterclockwise to draw in that arc the way that you want it to be drawn.